Alright, how's it going, guys? Basically today's video is going to be a little collection video. I'm just going to show off everything I have. I'm going to go in the order of by brand. I'm going to do a couple sections by the different brands that I got, and then I'm also going to do them by the size. I'm going to go from smallest to largest, stuff like that. Just to get out of the way, let's do the only one that I have one from the specific brand. This is a Charisma SCA1E, the crawler. This is, I got it just because the body looks really cool. It's been on a huge back burner. I just put some tires on it, but I want to do something like four-wheel steer, something like that. So yeah, on the back burner right now. Right now it's mostly stock other than tires, but yeah, I want to do some stuff to this. Just haven't yet. It's on a really big back burner, so yeah. So next up, we're going to start with the Losi trucks, because this was the first one I ever got. This is a Losi desert truck from 2008. Basically, it's like a stadium truck type thing that they underneath. Basically, it's like a ready-to-run version of the like the race trucks they had at the time. Tons of fun. First one I ever got. Two-wheel drive, brush, stuff like that. It's all bone stock. Before I ever really knew anything about these things. So yeah, this one's a big nostalgia thing. Lots of fun, stuff like that. I don't really drive it that much anymore because it's so old. I don't want to break it. But yeah, tons of fun. That was my first one. So. Alright, this is the Losi Super Baja Ray. This one's been a ton of fun. I got this one maybe about a year and a half ago, stuff like that. Yeah, tons of fun with this truck. Apart from some electronics issues here and there, it's been a really fun truck. Super durable overall, except for the rear of the body, stuff like that. Which is actually why I have a custom paint job on this thing right now. Stuff like that. But yeah, this truck's been a ton of fun. I really love this one. Super fast, stuff like that. It's actually running 8S right now too, rather than the 6S that it starts out with, so kind of cool. Also here I got the Super Rock Ray. So I love the Super Baja Ray so much. When this thing got released, I just had to get it right away. It was pretty much first order of that one, got that. Had a little bit of problems in the front suspension. Other than that, it's been pretty good. It's still mostly stock. Still stock electronics and everything. New servo. Yeah, that one's been really good. Alright, next up is going to be the Losi DB XLE. So this is my first true 1/5 scale truck. This one's been a ton of fun. Basically the chassis underneath, all the drivetrain and everything is super duper duper durable, but the body and cage not so much. I've had a lot of cage parts break over time, so yeah, just need to replace that. It gets kind of expensive. Other than that, this thing is like insanely durable. I've really aired this thing out too. I've actually had this one on the channel a few times, but yeah, I've aired this thing out and it's been super durable overall, stuff like that. I actually even got the mechanical brake kit that they make for this thing. I put that on this as well. Helps it stop a little bit easier. Nice to do little fishtails, stuff like that. Tons of fun truck overall. Whoops. Alright. Oh man, can't jump this thing up there. Oh, it's kind of heavy, that's why. Next up's going to be the TLR 5B. This is the only TLR truck that I have right now. This one is a 5th scale buggy, obviously. Tons of fun. Second 5th scale truck I got. First race kit I got. Like the parts in this thing were just so mint to put together and everything. Tons of fun to drive it too. Haven't really bashed it around all that much. Just, you know, it's so expensive and everything. But this one is actually converted over to electric powered brushless. It's got the 56, you know, it's got a big old hobby wing combo in there, stuff like that. This one I haven't really featured on the channel at all. I would like to start featuring stuff on it. Yeah, it's been a fun truck overall. Don't really see that much stuff on it on YouTube, so I'd like to start sharing some stuff, my thoughts about it, stuff like that basically. So, yeah. Alright, next up we got the Arma Outcast here. This was actually one of my first trucks. This was the first truck powered by 6S batteries. First 8 scale type truck too. Tons of fun with that one. Super short, so it loves to do flips, stuff like that. Quite a few mods on it, stuff like that. Got a lot of hot racing stuff. And I do also have the Notorious. So I got the Outcast itself was from when basically when they're going from version 2 to version 3 trucks with their stuff. So that's 2017, I think, something like that. The Notorious I got right when that one came out, 2018. I like the Outcast so much, I had to get the Notorious right away. Basically underneath it's the same exact truck. Tons of fun, stuff like that. This one's had a bunch of electronics issues, unfortunately. Otherwise, both super fun trucks overall. Next up here is going to be my Arma Italian. This looks like a bug right now. This is a super cool looking truck, but unfortunately it has been my least favorite. It's just been problem after problem after problem with this thing. Just Arma quality control as a whole, just you know, some other electronics just having issues with, but this thing has just been problem after problem after problem. Looks cool, so it's kind of cool. It's always stuck on the shelf broken, so yeah, it better look cool at this point, right? But yeah, super cool looking truck. It's just it's been my least favorite truck by a long shot. So. Next up we got the Arma Nero 6S. This really fun truck overall. It is, to be honest, it is a little bit overrated of a truck. It's super fun when it's driving. It's not as durable as it should be, and it's really painful to work on because it's super complicated design underneath with the twin vertical plate chassis and cantilever shock, stuff like that. Fun truck when it's running, but it's not running all that much, so oh well. Next up here we got my Arma Infraction. This one I got basically right when the thing came out. This one's been a ton of fun. It's all mostly stock. It's actually converted over to run 8S and had to do some other things to it. Had a lot of problems straight from the factory, a lot of factory issues that weren't really addressed that should have been at the factory. But yeah, other than that, it's been pretty fun. Converted over to run 8S. Super tons of power, super fun to just destroy tires all the time, but it gets kind of expensive. So right now, being the winter, I don't really drive it too much either. I don't want to get it all mucky and muddy, stuff like that. Wouldn't be as fun. Yeah, super fun truck. Last but not least, from the Arma boys, I got the Creighton 8S. I got this thing like as soon as it came out. Haven't even driven it yet. This is the closest thing I have to a shelf queen right now, because it hasn't really been driven at all. It had some issues with from the factory, stuff like that, like usual Arma. Steering is the biggest issue right now. The servo dead when it came out of the box, so it's just been sitting around right now. Haven't really been able to drive it yet because of that. But yeah, can't wait to see how it does, but can't just yet, so it's kind of a shelf queen right now. Alrighty, next up, let's go with the Traxxas trucks. So the first one that I got was the smallest one, Traxxas /4x4. This thing was the original. This is the first brushless RC car I ever got. Also, first four-wheel drive one I've ever gotten too. This one's been a ton of freaking fun. It's still on the original body, but this thing just takes like all the abuse you could ever imagine all day, every day. It's almost entirely stock, other than the front RPM arms and some springs. Other than that, bone stock. Almost all original parts, stuff like that too. So. Definitely a testament to the durability of that thing. I like that one so much, I actually picked up a two-wheel drive slash, actually not too long after too, maybe about 4 months after I got the original one. Yeah, this one's been super fun. They're both about 3 years old, stuff like that. Yeah, tons of fun in these things. They're both brushless, both insanely durable. This one, it's actually got RPM parts all the way around just to get the colors to match the body, but other than that, I don't think it really needed it beforehand. It took a ton of abuse before, or actually never broke anything with it yet. So yeah, tons of durability in that one. Just super fun trucks. They're like insanely fast. Like the power density of these things is so crazy because they weigh nothing and they have so much power. It's just insane. Super fun. Go really fast and crash them. You don't have to worry about them breaking, stuff like that. Tons of fun. Next up we got the TRX4. This is the Bronco one. This thing has been awesome. This is my first crawler ever. Never really thought the concept of crawling would be all that fun, you know, because you're going slow, you're not going insanely fast or anything. So I was kind of skeptical about this thing at first, but I love the look of it, so I had to get it. But yeah, this thing's been so much fun. It takes so much abuse. The locking, unlocking differentials is super fun too. 2-speed transmission takes all the abuse you can imagine. But yeah, this thing's been a freaking riot to drive. You wouldn't think it would be so much fun being slow, but it's been really fun. I got the Hobbywing axe system in this thing too, make it even smoother throttle, stuff like that. So it's really fun to go crawling with it and have a little bit of power to go crazy over some like big rocks, stuff like that. So even jump it a little bit. So yeah, this one's been fun. Next up, we got the TRX6. This is, I didn't really get this right away, but I got it not too long after it was released. I didn't really get like the first delivery of it, but I got it pretty early on. This has been a ton of fun so far. 6-wheel drive, all the amazingness of the TRX4 in a 6-wheel drive package, so it's 50% cooler with 2 extra wheels. So yeah, this has been a ton of fun as well. This one's actually running one of the Castle systems. So it's actually got, I've actually been running it mostly on 4S since then, and it's taken all the abuse, even with the extra wheel, all kinds of extra weight. It weighs like close to 10 pounds as it is, something like that. So yeah, all the greatness of the TRX4 with 2 extra wheels. So this one's been a ton of fun as well. Alright, here's one of my more recent trucks from Traxxas. This is the Max. This one I got right away because the Xmax is actually my most favorite truck of all time. So this one I had to get basically all the good stuff about the Xmax in a much smaller package. It's been freaking amazing. It's got a ton of power for its size on 3 and 4S, which is really awesome. Yeah, this thing's been awesome. Bone stock so far, other than fans for the motor and ESC. Other than that, this thing has been stupidly durable. Just like the big brother, so. Next up we got the Traxxas EVO 2.0. This one, kind of funny story, I was actually thinking about getting the version 1 brushless edition, the Castle one and everything, when this was, or, well, before they stopped selling it, and then they came out with this one, so I had to get it right away. I basically got first delivery of this thing too, so this thing's been a ton of fun. It was met early on with some pretty crazy durability issues. The rod ends like to snap off all the time on the rear of it. Literally after a few bucks, fixed that. No problem since then. It's been really awesome. Really interesting how this one handles as well. It's really long and pretty wide, so you'd think that it wouldn't have, it wouldn't really backflip as easy as it does. But something with the way how the motor's mounted so high, just the center of gravity being a little bit higher than you think, it's actually really easy to do backflips with the thing. So it has just enough stability when you're driving it around, so it's not like always lifting the wheels up, but it's also flipping super easy as well once you get into the air. So this one's been really fun. Lots of power in this thing, 6S of course, so tons of power, really durable. A little more complicated than it should be, but hey, it works, it does really well, super durable, so super awesome. Alright, next up we got the big old couch here. We got the Traxxas UDR. This thing is so freaking scale, it's amazing. Like watching this thing driving over the rocks and stuff, just watching the suspension just go insane underneath the truck. It's just sitting super flat. Like the most fun thing ever. This thing has been awesome. I actually got this more recently, maybe about 6 months ago, because I like the Super Baja Ray. Wanted to compare this to that, see how they would be against each other, and they're both really awesome trucks, of course. So this one's been a ton of fun too. So. Next up here we got the X01. This thing, actually, I got this one while I was waiting for my Infraction pre-order to get here, because they just, when they first came out, they had the pre-order for it opened up, but the dates just kept getting pushed back and back and back a couple months, so I just ended up getting this while I was waiting for it to get here. This thing's been a ton of fun. Haven't really done anything to it other than tires. Tires, straight out of the box, they're okay. They got good compound but no tread, so they're not really good on real-world non-track surfaces. So I've been playing around with tires. I just got these GRPs that I put on it more recently. I did choose a compound a little bit too hard for this one, for the place I'm running it at. So I do need to get something a little bit softer. But otherwise, this truck has been really awesome. Or car. It's a super car. Freaking insane how the aerodynamics of this thing works. Like the faster you go, the more it just sticks to the ground, especially with the front splitter for the 100-mile-an-hour splitter. It's just insane how much like aerodynamic grip this thing has. Yeah, tons of fun in this one. Yeah, really limited on where you can run it because it's so low to the ground. But this thing's a ton of fun when you can get it out eventually. So. Alrighty, and last but not least for the entire collection, my favorite one, favorite truck out of my entire collection in terms of platforms, the Traxxas Xmax, without a doubt, is my favorite ever. There's a reason I have 3 of them on the table here. I have 3 Xmaxes. Yeah. So basically, this is the first one. This one I got in 2017, something like that. It's almost 3 years old now. I got it February 2017, I believe. So yeah, it's probably been it's been close to 3 years now. It takes all the beatings I can ever imagine. This thing's been awesome. I got this one because I got a good deal on the Snap-on truck, so I turned it into Snap-off. It's actually a spoof on Sweet Tooth. Have a little head for it as well. Haven't mounted it on there yet, but this is supposed to look like Sweet Tooth. I've also had a lot of different celebrities sign it. Some of my favorite celebrities I've watched over the years in movies, stuff like that. So it has more recently become a shelf queen. Yeah, this thing took really good beating as well, you know, with the body and everything. Body got scratched up a little bit, but then I painted all the polka dots on it, turned it into Sweet Tooth, and then got all the signatures on it. So unfortunately that one sits around more than I'd like it to, but you know, it's one of my favorite trucks ever. And then I got this blue one over here. This one I got specifically to make waterproof. So basically the servo that I put into this one is actually not waterproof. So I got that one specifically to set up for wet conditions when I go up to the snow, stuff like that, or just, you know, rainy days. Have something I could run in the water and not really worry too much about getting it all rusty and destroyed, stuff like that. So yeah, 3 of these, easily my favorite truck in the entire collection. Alright, so now that you've seen my entire collection, now I just want to push it over to you guys as well. Is there any truck that you guys want to see specifically? I do have quite a few. Everything's been driven pretty hard except for the Creighton 8S. But other than that, everything's been driven really hard a lot of times. So yeah, I'd love to see if there's anything you guys want me to share specifically. Of course, I'd love to start talking about them, stuff like that, share my thoughts on these trucks, have plenty of runtime off camera to show you, at least to give my own opinion about things. I beat the crap out of these trucks, so they do live a very hard life in my collection. So I would like to see if there's anything you guys want to see specifically. I know for me personally, I do want to share the 5B, because it is electric converted. It's actually got 5 T-arms on it, so it's a little bit wider. I would like to start sharing stuff about that. So just kind of wondering if there's any specific truck you want to see, anything like that. I'd love to start talking about them. Just let me know. So yeah, just let me know in the comments, stuff like that. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to probably do something about my 5B pretty soon. Other than that, yeah, just let me know if you want to see anything.